Hey guys, it's Asia Santos. Welcome back to my channel. So today I had a daycare video for you guys. This one is specifically for the mamas out there, anyone who's interested, but my mamas, I had to do a video for you guys, especially because I've really been trying to focus more on the motherhood life. So I wanted to share with you guys some tips, some information about sending your child to daycare. So this is going to be a part one because I have so much information to share with you guys. You know, you gotta have all this information though. Trust me on this one, okay? So let's just jump into the video. I'm going to start telling you guys my first 5 must-knows when sending your child to daycare for the first time, okay? So I just want to give you guys a little more information. If you don't know me or haven't been on my social media or anything like that, I am a mother. I have a daughter who's almost 2 years old, and she's been going to daycare for about a year now. So I do have a bit of knowledge, you know, about daycares. And besides that, I've also worked in a daycare myself for almost 2 years. So, you know, I can tell you guys from different perspectives, not just from the mother, also from the provider side. So that was a mouthful. Let's go. Okay. So, first things first. It gets better. Okay, that's the first tip I'm going to give you guys to start us out. Okay, it gets better. And by it gets better, I'm talking about the separation anxiety. If you are a mom who's worried about this, you know, nervous about this, and wondering, you know, oh my gosh, my kid is going to be crying nonstop, they're going to miss me, I miss them, it's just going to be too much. It is to start out, you know, maybe those first, usually as a daycare provider, I know that our new students, it took them about a week, a good week before they were able to not cry when their mother left or their parents left. They were just like, bye. You know, they barely wanted to give them hugs to end, you know, to start with. They were just done. They were ready to come to daycare, ready to get the day started. And that is so normal, you know, especially when your child has been home with you for quite some time. As a mother, I dealt with that for a short period of time, you know, but I knew I had some really important things to do. I had some money to be made, so I had to make the decision to let my daughter go to daycare and suck it up. But now we've come to the point, after a week we got to that point, but now she loves daycare. I can't stop her from going. She's learning, she's thriving, and your kid will too. Okay? So, moving on to tip number 2. And that tip is practice good mannerism. Okay? So you want to start this really early on. Okay? You don't want to start this once your kid is in daycare. You want to start this at home. You want to start practicing this with, you know, other people in your family or people you see every day. Practice good mannerisms. Say thank you. Say please. Say may I. Say, you know, just stuff like that. Thank you especially is a big one. You want to show gratitude and teach your kid to show gratitude, and that will get them really far in daycare, and that will really help them when it comes to just developing their personal skills and their just mannerism. It's important, okay? Trust me. One of the most important tips that I actually have on my little list of 5, communication. So, communication is so big and so broad, but in a nutshell, you just want to effectively communicate everything with your daycare provider. If you're gonna be late, if your schedule changes, if your child is potty training and you want them to start potty training at daycare, if your child is sick and you know, if you're not sure whether or not to send them or not, you're like, oh man, I need to make money at work, but my child they have runny nose, they're coughing. Communicate with your daycare provider, because you might find that it's okay, you know, send them, they'll be all right. You know, we've dealt with children who are like basically sick. You know, we've dealt with giving them cold medicine with the parents' permission. But that's something that just has to be communicated, whether or not you're going to be late to picking them up, who's allowed to pick them up, in case of an emergency, what you want your daycare provider to do as far as who to contact, or maybe, you know, just being able to, even if you want a designated daycare provider to just stay put until you get there, you know? Just communicate, okay? And that's a big thing, and that's where problems arise when the daycare provider or the parent doesn't communicate effectively. That's where, you know, problems arise, you know? Along with good communication is staying organized. So as far as organized goes, that is talking about knowing what is going on at your daycare and having it in some kind of, you know, planner in your phone. Just have this information, like what days your daycare has off, pajama days, come in late days, maybe early dismissal. You need to know these things so that you are prepared and organized, and you're not, you know, trying to do things at the last minute, trying to find care for your kids at the last minute and stuff like that. And just as far as like pajama days, you want your kid to be involved. You want them to, you know, feel, you know, just happy they get to wear their pajamas. And if you miss that like 1,001 times, it's kind of your fault, you know? So my daycare provider that my daughter, the one she goes to now, they provide us with a calendar, which I post right on my refrigerator. And I'm gonna move up so you guys can see. Okay, you guys, so this is a quick look at my daughter's calendar from her daycare. Sorry about this mess, that was my fault. But as you guys can see, she lets us know when we don't have school, whether it's a color, you know, wear your favorite color day, there's pajama day, and she also puts certain activities the kids will be learning those particular days. So if I want to practice with my child the day before, I can do that. Furthermore, she puts, you know, notes at the bottom, like this one is referring to the 27th, which is saying do not bring a lunch, because lunch will be provided, which is something I would like to know so I don't have to waste money or pack a lunch for her for that day. And then our most important notes are boldface at the bottom. Learning with your child and helping your daycare provider and your child to learn while your child is at home, okay? So what I'm talking about is, you know, find out, get involved in what your child is learning, like my provider does. As you've seen, we were, you know, it was circles and squares written on our calendar. So now that I know that, as a parent, I'm gonna go home and start to practice that with my child, even if it is for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, you know, getting her to recite her alphabets and then moving on. I know as moms and parents, we are exhausted. After work, after our daily things that we have to do, we pick up our child from daycare, we want to get home, we want to start dinner, we want to sleep. Okay, trust me, I know. But it would really help if you as a parent get involved in their learning and help them, because as a provider, I've learned early on that we've had to identify certain, you know, you can see certain students and children who are not learning like the other students. And it's not to say that the parents are to blame for that. It's just that, you know, you want to be aware of that early on, because if that's the case and a child is not learning at a certain pace, maybe we need to do one-on-one. Maybe they need to be seen by a specialist. Maybe, you know, all these different maybes. But it is helpful if you as a parent go home and practice certain things that we're learning with your child at home. Okay? So the 5th tip I have for you guys, and the final tip, is show gratitude to your daycare provider. Try to be easygoing and a very, you know, just help your daycare provider as much as you can, because when you are not there, they have to deal with your kid, they have to deal with other people's kids, and yes, you're paying the money, and that yes, it's their job, but it's still the fact that they are with your kids for 8 to 9 hours a day, taking care of them, changing them, feeding them, nurturing them, caring for them. So show gratitude. You know, if they need wipes or your kid is out of diapers, bring them wipes, bring them diapers. If they need disinfecting wipes, bring disinfectant wipes, you know, just get them. That's the least you can do, you know. Try to just, you know, if they need help with anything, maybe they need extra paper, extra markers, extra tissue for your child's nose. Like, it's going towards your child, it's helping your child. That's a small gesture of showing appreciation. So just try to do that. It really makes a big difference. Me as a provider, I appreciated it so much. And I it was just amazing. I'm just so grateful because at the end of the day, those markers, those crayons, those tissues was used for the child, and they're needed. They are needed, and we don't necessarily, you know, we don't want to go out and spend our money whether or not we worked for it. It's just something we don't, you know, we don't want to do. We will do it if we need to because your child needs tissues, but show gratitude. Okay, so this is the end of my Daycare 101 tips. I will be doing a part 2. I hope you guys enjoy this. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.